starting your day off with a take on Vegas you won't get anywhere else.
Hi, I'm Holly Madison, and I listen to Brian Shapiro.
Hi, this is William Shatner, and I listen to Brian Shapiro.
Hey, this is Larry the Cable Guy, and I listen to Brian Shapiro. Why? Because I'm a good American. So is he. And if you don't listen to him, you need to pack up and leave this country.
This is the Vegas Take with Brian Shapiro.
Welcome all again!
What's up, Vegas? Another fun edition coming up this hour. The Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro, brought to you by the Wager Fund. Glad you could join us. The weekend, just a few hours away, right? Many people getting out of work if you're driving home. We got a fun hour in store for you. Pretty special guest coming up at the bottom of the hour. Doesn't do a lot of interviews. His name is Dominic Young. He was the person that was at the forefront of the 1997 point-shaving incident when Jerry Tarkanian was the coach of that team. His teammate was Chris Herron. He's got a book coming out in a couple months, and with gambling being legalized throughout the country, he's got some opinions on that. We're going to talk to Dominic Young coming up at the bottom of the hour. And by the way, he's turned his life around. He's doing a lot of good things with young men, and he's not telling them to gamble or point shave. That's for sure. Dominic Young joining us at the bottom of the hour. So we're going to have some fun with that. JD, my man, how's it going?
Going great.
That's it? Just going great?
That's it. Just going great. Yeah, truly, I mean,
you look happy.
It's not that hot out today, so that's...
Well, you're doing a lot better than Urban Meyer has been doing over the course of the last week. We're going to get into that in a second, but we got a fun weekend coming up. I went out on the links today, and I played 18 holes. I won't say the name of the golf course because, to my knowledge, they're not sponsoring our show yet, so I won't give them any free publicity. But
keyword there, yet.
Yet, exactly. But I hadn't played golf in a year, and I shot a 73. That's not too bad.
That's outstanding, actually.
I was absolutely flattening the golf ball, but I just couldn't make a putt to save my life. The reason why I played golf today, because I'm going out a little bit of a golf outing with Randy Howe, who works for Channel 3. He's the head sports guy at Channel 3. It's his birthday. He's got a bunch of people. We're gathering up to play a little bit of golf tomorrow morning. I hate waking up anytime before 10 a.m., but I'm going to do it for this special occasion. I wanted to make sure I didn't hack it up out there, but I don't think I will. Although it's one of those weird things. Golf is a weird game where you cannot play for a long time and play fantastic, and then you can play every day, and then the next couple times you go out, you just hack it up. So whatever. It's all for good fun, but I just wanted to go out there and play well. But we got an interesting weekend coming up. Besides my golf endeavors, Marvin Menzies, the head coach of the UNLV basketball team, has invited some members of the media to his house on Sunday for a barbecue. It is a little interesting that he hasn't done this the first 2 years, but hey, it's very nice of him. I accepted that invitation because I know he would not put on the party without me. I know there's no chance this barbecue would happen unless Brian Shapiro showed up. But anyway, it should be fun. Check out his crib, Marvin Menzies' crib. Go on over there. I wonder if he's got a basketball hoop, by the way. So,
does he have kids?
I would imagine he does, but I'm not going to assume that. I don't know a lot about Marvin Menzies' family. I know he's a happily married man.
If he has kids, I'm going to put minus 175, yes.
Is that the professional handicapping line for J.D. Sharp?
Basketball hoop.
Minus 175, he has a basketball hoop.
If he has kids.
I'm pretty sure he does. But anyway, a very nice gesture to invite some select members of the media. I mean, I feel so privileged to be able to go to Marvin Menzies' house on Sunday. But anyway, that'll be a lot of fun. We'll talk about that on Monday. And as I mentioned, Dominic Young will be joining us at the bottom of the hour. So that'll be a great guest. I did mention Urban Meyer. We've been talking about that the last couple days. And now more revelations coming out. And Zach Smith did do an interview with ESPN. We'll get to that in just a couple minutes. But before we get to that interview that Zach Smith gave with ESPN, I want to give you, JD, and our listeners a timeline of what a piece of scum this guy Zach Smith is and how Urban Meyer just turned a blind eye towards this. And by the way, Urban Meyer did release a statement today. And in that statement, for lack of a better term, in that statement, he's defending his actions, and he is saying, and I'm not going to read the whole letter, but basically saying that he followed proper protocol. He absolutely followed proper protocol. He did absolutely nothing wrong, defending himself. And this timeline is going to make you sick, okay? It is going to absolutely make you sick what this guy Zach Smith did. All the way going back to 2009, okay? These are when the serious allegations arised, where his wife is pregnant at the time, and he allegedly roughed her up. Police were involved. And again, this is back to 2009, okay, in June. And then in July, Courtney Smith, who was who was his wife at the time, said that he was pressured by members of Smith's family. And then she reveals a few months later there were more charges filed. And she says she had left her husband in June the following year, and that when she filed the divorce papers and all that stuff, she claims that Zach Smith sent her threatening text. Well, not claiming, it's in the text messages, basically threatening her life. So this guy threatens her life. This is proof, folks. Says that he's going to kill her and members of her family and the man that she is with, her boyfriend at the time. I mean, this is just a complete piece of scum. And the list goes on and on and on. I mean, it doesn't stop there. I'm not going to read the whole timeline, but it's like every month something is going on with this guy, Zach Smith. Eventually, he's charged with criminal trespassing in 2018. But, you know, this is the kicker here. And this is the thing that really gets me, because during media availability, the Big Ten media availability day, Urban Meyer said that he had, quote, no knowledge of a previous alleged domestic violence incident in 2015 against Smith and didn't find out about the other until a recent phone call. I mean, complete BS, complete crap. Okay, I'm sorry. You can do, you can do an ongoing investigation all you want. We know the truth here, and this guy is continuing to lie. So I want to get to this. Zach Smith did an interview with ESPN. I'm not going to play the whole interview, but basically in parts of this interview, most of the interview, he is defending Urban Meyer. So let's play a little clip here. Let's go to this clip.
What did you say to Urban Meyer about the 2015 incident?
I told him when he asked me he asked me what the hell's going on. I told him, I said, Courtney's accusing me that I committed domestic violence. I didn't. I don't know what's going on, but I'm meeting with I'm going to go down and meet with the investigator and find out what the deal is. And after that, I told him, I said, they have some pictures of her. Anything that happened to her body was all just defensive movements to remove myself from the situation. And I said, and that's it. And I'm not gonna get charged because I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
How did he respond to that?
JD,
He looked at me.
we're gonna cut it there. JD, you know who this reminds me of? Our boy Floyd Mayweather, making excuses, defensive movements. Yeah. Okay. I'm sure. Oh, let me ask you: when you hear Zach Smith say that, what is your first reaction?
I don't believe him, obviously.
Yeah.
Here's the problem with this whole thing. Now Gene Smith, the AD, has been brought into it. And basically it looks like if Urban goes down and Zach goes down, then Gene Smith's going to go down too. And it's going to make the Ohio State University look really, really bad. And if that happens, it's going to be really, really hard for them to hire a pretty good AD after the fact.
And you know who really suffers? You know, players, fans, people around the university who did do nothing wrong. And most people are not involved in this. But the people that are involved in it, besides Zach Smith and his wife, of course, is Urban Meyer. And if Urban Meyer is going to stand there and said that he followed proper protocol.
Urban Meyer, in his statement today, said, and I quote, "I failed with my words." So basically, he created a new way to describe lying today.
I mean, what an idiot. He failed with his words. Yeah. Let me tell you something. I would have a lot more respect for this guy if he just got up there and he just said, look, this is something that I should have done. I didn't do it. I regret it. I made a tremendously awful decision. Domestic violence is extremely serious. Even though I didn't throw the punches, so to speak, I'm at fault. And the university can do what they... Look, the university is going to find out he lied anyway.
Right.
So why not just go up there and just spill the beans, and at least we'll have a little bit of respect for you. Again, it's one of those things where, what are you thinking, Urban Meyer? We know that you knew.
Also, he releases the statement on Friday at 4 o'clock, synchronized with ESPN and with this interview and with Twitter, et cetera.
That's calculated.
It's totally choreographed and totally calculated, and he must think that the general public is a bunch of idiots. It's insulting. It's honestly insulting. And fans of Ohio State should be insulted, and fans of college football should also be insulted, because the way that they released this is totally unacceptable and 100% calculated and 100% coordinated.
And there are some morons out there that are drinking the Kool-Aid, that still think that, well, he didn't do anything wrong. He did follow protocol. Are you kidding me? There are probably some morons at Penn State who still think Joe Paterno did nothing wrong. Same idiots. So, again, I could not believe it when I saw this Urban Meyer statement. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. But when we all know that he lied, we all know that he kept it within, and he continues to lie. Even today, he is lying to us. It is absolutely disgusting, and it's even more disgusting, in my opinion, now that eventually he will get a job somewhere else because he's a phenomenal football coach.
Great football coach.
And a phenomenal recruiter.
Outstanding recruiter.
So he will get a job somewhere else in this day and age. There's no doubt. But if somebody said to me, do you think he deserves to work elsewhere after this whole situation, especially after the comments that he made today, I would say absolutely not.
Major cover-up. And again, he's trying. Any serious sports fan should be like, Urban, how dumb do you really think we are? Just the way that this has been released it's totally unacceptable in my opinion.
Aren't there people around him, publicists, managers, whoever the case, attorneys? Aren't there people around him that can give him better advice than the statement that he put out today? It makes him look like a complete buffoon that he is. How do you make a statement saying, I got my words wrong, but I followed protocol? Yeah. Are you kidding me?
I failed in my words.
I mean, if that's the case, every liar out there could use that excuse.
Exactly.
I just failed. Let's teach our kids that. If the kid says, "I did my homework," yes, Mom, I did my homework. Listen, son, if you didn't do your homework, just say, "I'm sorry, Mom, I twisted my words. I'm sorry. I got the words wrong. I meant to say that I didn't do my homework. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have played video games. I got my words wrong." Is this what kind of example are you setting for these 18, 19, 20-year-old kids, or how about your own kids for that matter, when you make a ridiculous excuse like this? Now, I understand that Urban Meyer's not the one, thank God, that put his hands on a woman. I'll give him that. But what he did is almost as bad, the cover-up. And I say the same thing about Joe Paterno. It's almost as bad. But I don't understand. First of all, how long is this investigation going to take? They need to get this over with. The longer that this investigation drowns out, the longer it goes out, it makes the university look worse on a daily basis.
Well, it's a third-party source that's doing it. It should be done within 2 weeks, but it wouldn't shock me if it drags into the season and Urban's not coaching. And I could easily see Ohio State dropping a couple of games if that's the case, because his offense is extremely complex.
It's interesting. I was listening to a few people today that were telling me that they believe this alone drops them 3 points, even though they're probably still the sixth best team in the country. It drops them about 3-point spread or so, 3 points to the other direction. I don't know how you come up with a number like that. I really don't, because it certainly doesn't affect the recruiting this year. The recruits are already in place, but it affects it from next year.
Right.
But, in-game adjustments, we know what a great coach he is. I don't care how good of a coach he is. The way he's handled this whole situation, again, when somebody screws up in life, and I've done it plenty of times myself, the best thing you can do is just own up to it, apologize, learn from it, say it's never going to happen again. We live in a very forgiving society.
Especially if you're caught red-handed.
That's what I don't understand about this whole thing. You're telling me his wife, in the text messages, knew exactly what was going on, but never said anything to her husband, who's the head coach of the football team, making millions of dollars? I mean, this is lunacy.
And his wife is very, very involved in the football team, and all those wives are. All those coaches' wives hang out like they do on every single team.
And when you, apparently, and I haven't even seen the pictures, but apparently Zach Smith's wife was beat up pretty good. I don't know if have you seen the pictures, JD, but apparently there are there's pictures that are pretty bad. And when he is going to go on, another thing, he goes on SportsCenter today, just go away. Don't do an interview. Just go away.
He looks a little crazy. He looks a little kook.
The guy drives to her house after they divorce. He threatens the life of her and her boyfriend. I can't even read the text messages that he sent her because there's so many F-bombs and so many threats and just vile language. The type of language I use at a poker table when I lose a hand, but it's worse than that.
When you lose $2.
Yeah.
When you lose your blinds.
Exactly. But I mean, this is no laughing matter. This is just disgusting. This guy, Zach Smith, deserves to be behind bars. He should not be out.
I think he will be.
He's an absolute animal as far as I'm concerned. And what his wife has had to go through, I mean, I hope no other woman ever has to go through. Unfortunately, they do. And again, it reminds me of Floyd Mayweather, where he made excuses and said that his girlfriend, was on drugs and these were defensive wounds and he did nothing wrong. And Floyd Mayweather has all the money in the world, but that couldn't stop him from at least, getting charged with domestic violence. And it wasn't the first time for him. It is a extremely serious charge. We're not talking about a speeding ticket here. We're talking about putting your hands on a woman. Urban Meyer absolutely knew what was going on, and I don't care what Zach Smith says right now. Don't know, don't care. The bottom line is Urban Meyer needs to go. And he will always be remembered for this. I don't care how many football games he wins the rest of his career. We will always remember this week. We will always remember the way he handled this situation, and we will always remember the statement that he provided, which to me is almost as bad as the whole cover-up to begin with.
And we will remember exactly what he thinks of the general public, how dumb he thinks the general public actually is.
He plays us for fools. And it's absolute nonsense. Anyway, another story that came out that I wanted to bring up, and then we're going to take a break here in a few minutes. Tom Brady, a new book claiming that Brady could have done one simple thing to avoid a suspension over the Deflategate saga, but he refused to do so. He was asked by the NFL to throw two people under the bus that allegedly were a part of those deflated footballs. But guess what? He decided not to do it. And in this new book, he said, quote, "There's no way I'm going to ruin these guys for something I believe they didn't do." And I say kudos to Tom Brady. I'm sure that's true. He wouldn't have been suspended. He wanted these guys, the NFL wanted these guys to be thrown under the bus, and he refused to do so. And if that's true, look, we're talking about Tom Brady. Guy's got a lot of money. He's one of the most famous figures on the planet, one of the most recognizable figures on the planet. I became a bigger Tom Brady fan today after reading this story because I believe it to be true. If you want to talk about a witch hunt, we use that word a lot, right, in politics today, but I believe that whole Deflategate thing was a witch hunt because I think other professional quarterbacks have done much worse with tampering and so on and so forth. But I give Tom Brady a ton of credit for this story that just came out. Now, ultimately, of course, Brady took the NFL to federal court, and he was unsuccessful. But I just thought it was a great moment when he won the Super Bowl and just shove it in Goodell's face. I love it. A lot of people on the West Coast won't agree with me on that one, but we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be joined by Dominic Young, who was at the forefront, responsible for the 1997 point-shaving incident at Fresno State. So Dominic will be joining us next live right here. You're listening to The Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro, right here on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.